Hey Virgo, let's see what's going on in your love life. This is a tarot love reading for Virgo Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus, and for any of you lovely cross watchers dealing with a Virgo romantically. Now, please keep in mind, as always, it is a general reading, so it may or may not resonate, and you are, of course, welcome here to take what works and leave the rest. So we're going to get into it today, Virgo. We're going to see what could be coming towards you in love, so let's jump to it. First card coming out today for Virgo, we have got the message, cut down, cutting out, separation, stopping the pattern, and silent treatment. So we're starting with some heavier energy today. First impression, you could definitely be dealing with somebody who's gone silent. You could be dealing with somebody right now who is not communicating with you, somebody who is shut down, someone who is literally giving you the silent treatment. Maybe you're in separation with this person. Maybe you're not in separation, but they're also still like not really talking to you or communicating. And it kind of feels to you probably like they're cutting you out, right? They've gone cold. So unfortunately that is heavier energy, but let's see where it goes. Tell me more about what could be coming toward Virgo right now. So we got the Death card, which doesn't mean literal death. It's just about a situation coming to an end. But what it says is the relationship is over. No second chances, growing and transforming. What's dead is dead. This card is a little intense for me personally. I do like this deck. This card though, it always kind of irks me a little bit, Virgo, because it's so intense. But essentially the message that this card is giving is that something cannot continue the way that it is. You know, if you've been in this pattern with somebody where they've been cutting you out, not talking to you, not communicating, giving you the silent treatment, that cannot continue. That connection between the two of you, that relationship cannot continue the way that it is. So it's kind of like one of two things has to happen here. You know, either the relationship is done, it's over, that's it, you move on. Or if the two of you do find a way to move forward, it cannot be going back into the same patterns as what you saw before. That's why this message says stop the pattern, because it's basically saying to me, like the way the relationship was, Virgo, that's over. So even if you're going to work things out with this person, it's almost like it's going to have to be a brand new version of this relationship where both of you probably show up differently and communicate differently and navigate the relationship from a very different place than what was happening before. Because I think what was happening before feels very unhealthy to me. But like I said, it could also be, Virgo, that you're looking at it and you're like, do I even want to be in this, right? Because I feel like this card is saying you need to ask yourself, like, is this even something that I want to entertain? Do I even want to consider trying to make it work with this person? Or is there too much pain, too much anguish, too much bad shit that's gone down between the two of you? Would it be better to maybe walk away? Some of you might be in that really pivotal place right now, Virgo, where you are trying to decide what to do here. Okay, let's get one more card about what could be coming toward Virgo. Sword and Rose. Okay, this is good, you guys. Clarity and truth, revelation, honor and protection, and determination. So what this is saying to me is that you are probably going to be getting some sort of clarity about this situation sooner rather than later, okay? Something is going to be revealed to you, and once you have that information, you can make a decision about what it is that you want to do moving forward. So here's what we're going to do for the rest of the reading, Virgo. We're going to look at this person. So if you're connecting with the reading today, as always, these are general readings. If this is not your message, don't worry, that's totally fine, you guys. But if you are connecting with what I'm saying here, we're going to dig into it a little bit more. So we're going to look at this person and we're going to look at you. Hopefully this can give us a little bit of insight into what's going on. So we'll look at their overall energy, what they could be feeling, what actions they could be taking. I will look at the same thing for you, Virgo, and then we will look at the potential outcomes. So let's kind of dig into it and see where it takes us. Tell me about this person who Virgo is involved with, please. Okay, that's fascinating. First card coming out is the Two of Cups. Not quite what I was expecting. I'll tell you why. Two of Cups is like the soulmate card. It's somebody who loves us, somebody who feels like we are their soulmate. And it's like very confusing to me because the overall energy was so tough, you guys. So I'm like, what, they give you the silent treatment, but they also feel like you are their best friend and their lover? Like what is going on here? We're gonna have to pull more cards, you guys. Let's see where it goes. Tell me more about this person's energy, please. Six of Swords. I don't know what's going on with your person, you guys. Six of Swords is a transitional energy. The message I'm getting coming into my head is I love you, but I'm still gonna walk away. So I don't know what's going on with you guys, but it almost feels like your person loves you, but yet they also feel like they can't be with you. I don't know if this is some sort of protective thing that they're doing where they're like, to protect Virgo, I'm gonna walk away. I don't know. It's hard to tell because I think they're probably not communicating with you. Like, I think the big challenge here from what I'm seeing so far is that there's probably something going on for your person behind the scenes that you're not aware of. They're not communicating about it, so you don't understand the full picture. So on the one hand, you might feel that they love you with that Two of Cups, but then you might also at the same time feel them pulling away with that Six of Swords. But if they're not explaining like what's going on and how they're feeling, I think it's virtually impossible for you to make sense of this. Tell me more about this person's energy, please. Five of Cups, okay? Five of Cups is disappointment, letting somebody down. I think that this person has disappointed you. I think that they have let you down. I think they have some guilt about it. Five of Cups is an interesting energy, you guys. It can also be an energy of like, woe is me, self-pity. And like, I wonder if there is a little bit of that going on. It's kind of that whole energy of like, Virgo's too good for me. And you know, I'm not the best partner for Virgo. And you're like, but why don't you just like show up and be a good partner then? You know what I mean? It's like, instead of doing things to maybe actively fix the situation, it feels a little bit like your person might be going into this pitying kind of energy where they're like, oh, I'm not good enough for Virgo, so why even try? Like, there's something a little bit like, I don't know, depressed in their energy. Like, I'm not sure, guys. Like, maybe there's something going on with their well-being or their mental health. I don't know. But it just feels like instead of dealing with their feelings, they're just pushing you away, and they're having a bit of a like, woe is me, like, well, what else could I do kind of energy. And it's like, well, you could do lots of things differently. Like, you know, pushing Virgo away is not the only thing. You could also try to work on things. You could also try to fix things. But it's like they're so stuck in this heavy energy where I feel like they're maybe not making good decisions about your relationship. Let's see what they could be feeling. The Queen of Swords. Okay, that's interesting. You could be dealing with an air sign, a Libra, Gemini, or an Aquarius. It's interesting because the Queen of Swords is a very good communicator. You know who tends to not be a good communicator? Somebody who gives you the silent treatment. So I'm like, what is this? Like, they don't communicate, but then maybe the Queen of Swords indicates that they're going to start to get more clear about their feelings because this is showing up in their feelings. Okay, let's see where it goes. Tell me more about what they could be feeling. The Death card. That's fascinating. We're seeing a little bit of a theme here today, Virgo. Okay. I honestly feel like your person just kind of made the decision to give up on you in the relationship. Do I think it was a well thought out decision? No, not necessarily, based on what I'm seeing here, Virgo. And so it's kind of frustrating because I almost intuitively feel like maybe you're wanting to fight for this connection and you're wanting to fight for this relationship. It feels like they've just given up, even though it's very clear that they have feelings for you and they love you. So that's why I'm saying, like, there could be something else going on for them. It's not an excuse, but there could be something else going on for them where it's like, at this point in time, they feel the only thing that they can do is like push you away. And because they're not talking to you about it, it's like, what are you going to do? You can't do anything if they're not communicating, right? Whew. Let's see what other things they could be feeling. The Magician. That's ironic. So very interesting, you guys, to have the Magician in your person's feelings when I've been talking at length about someone who doesn't talk about their feelings. So the Magician can be an energy of somebody who makes you see one thing when there's something else going on. It's a magician, right? They can do tricks. They can present illusions. Honestly, you guys, I feel like this is showing up in your person's feelings just to be like confirming again, you're probably not getting the full picture about how they're feeling and what's going on. It's like an illusion. They're presenting something to you. It's not the whole truth. It's not the whole reality of the situation, but it is what they're choosing to show you. But it's like not the truth, you know? They could definitely be hiding something here, whatever that is. Let's see what actions they could be taking. The Nine of Swords. They're letting their anxiety run over them. Run over them. I don't know if that makes sense, you know? Like they're letting their anxiety just get the best of them. The Nine of Swords is very anxious, up in your head, sleepless nights. It's an awful energy, by the way. I don't wish the Nine of Swords energy on anyone. It sucks when anybody is feeling that way. But again, it kind of fits with that woe is me kind of energy of the Five of Cups, where it's like, oh, woe is me, I'm not good enough for Virgo. And then they like get up in their head and they just feel like I'm not good enough. And it's kind of sad actually, like if your person is feeling this way, but it just feels like this is saying that they're paralyzed by their fear. They're paralyzed by their insecurity. They're paralyzed by their anxiety here potentially. Tell me more about what actions they could be taking. Okay. Interesting. I mean, the Ace of Swords, this is kind of fascinating. I feel like we're getting a lot of like matching energy today, you guys, between the Oracle and the Tarot. Let's look at this. So remember, we had the Sword and the Rose. Oh, I just noticed something, you guys. Look at this. I just noticed this. Look at this, Virgo. It's a sword and a rose. That's funny. These are two different decks, right? Like these are two completely different decks. One of them's an Oracle deck, one of them's a Tarot deck. That's funny. I just noticed that. So yeah, we're getting repeating themes here. Ace of Swords is interesting because it is about clarity. It's about an epiphany, a breakthrough moment. So I'm like, is your person going to have some sort of wake up call? I want to see what follows the Ace of Swords though. So let's pull that energy and then we'll talk about it deeper, Virgo. Tell me what actions they could be taking. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I think you're in for a roller coaster ride here, my loves. Like buckle up, Virgo, because I think you got some crazy shit going on here with this person, okay? So look at this. Ace of Swords is like a wake-up call. And what comes after that is the Page of Cups, water energy, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces, which is typically like a heartfelt confession. Somebody coming towards us and opening up their heart. So like, if I'm being honest here, Virgo, what I see potentially happening is that you've been dealing with someone who just like shut down, and like you may be sitting here right now thinking it's over, it's done, there's no going back. But then all of a sudden your person has this huge epiphany with the Ace of Swords, and then they reach out to you and you're like, I didn't expect to hear from you. Like, I thought this was over. It's like you go from feeling completely devastated and defeated about what's been going on between the two of you, and then they show up again, and it's like, I'm feeling like the emotional swings are intense. You know, it's like one day you're devastated because they've kind of cut you out for no reason. You don't understand what happened. They're telling you it's over, and then they come back around and they're like, actually, I realized I do love you. And you're like, my goodness, this is intense. So this could definitely be a situation where you think it is like dead and done. It's over. And then they come towards you and you're like, okay, this is kind of crazy. So let's look at you, Virgo. Wow. So a roller coaster ride, my loves. Tell me about Virgo right now. Four of Swords, yeah. I mean, this makes sense. I think you've been doing a lot of thinking, a lot of reflection. This definitely indicates space between two people, being on a break, not currently being together, not really connecting. Tell me more about Virgo's energy, King of Cups, but you love them. Yeah, that's always a challenge, right? I mean, I get it, you guys. That's always the challenge in a situation like this, is that usually lack of love is not the issue, right? It's usually something else. And so the King of Cups to me is saying, like, you love this person, but like, I gotta be frank with you, Virgo, like some of the stuff we're seeing feels pretty toxic and unhealthy to me. And I think that's why at the beginning I was like, look, if you guys do decide to work this out, like it cannot be going back into the same toxic patterns that have maybe been plaguing your relationship. It's gonna have to be like a new version of the connection, a healthier version. Tell me more, please. And then the Six of Pentacles. Yeah, honestly, Virgo, I think the Six of Pentacles here is just to say that things have felt like extremely off balance between you and your person, okay? You probably feel like you've been doing all the work. You probably feel like you've been putting in all the effort. And I just think that you've been feeling like they have not been showing up for you in the way that you need. And that sucks. That never feels good when we feel like we're putting in more than our partner. Like I said, I think things could be maybe shifting. I think they're gonna reach out to you. It's really gonna be up to you to decide what you wanna do with this though. What could Virgo be feeling? Yeah, no shit. Look at that. This is intense, you guys. I'm getting like, oh, I'm getting chills. Like there's a lot of intensity. I feel like if you're connecting with this reading today, there's a volatility in this relationship, again, that feels unhealthy to me. And the Tower is just like, everything feels like it's just crumbling down around you. Everything feels like it's completely getting shaken up. you don't know what you're getting with this person. They're in your life, they're out of your life, they're in your life, they're out of their life. You don't know what's going on. They're not communicating, but then they're telling you they love you. And you're like, I literally can't make sense of it. What is happening? Now, here's the thing that I will say, and I've said this to you before, Virgo. Even though the Tower energy can feel scary and chaotic, it's actually a really good thing at the end of the day. I'll tell you why. The Tower, the way the Tower works in the tarot is that it usually comes in when you have to clear something out that's no longer working. And sometimes the Tower comes in to kind of force us to change things. I often see the Tower show up for folks when in their heart they know that they can't continue the way something is. Like for you, you may have been looking at this relationship and being like, it is not sustainable the way that it is. And you know that, but maybe you haven't taken any steps to do anything about it. It's like the Tower kind of comes in and forces your hand. Now, usually what the Tower does is it breaks things down because it's clearing out things that no longer serve you and ultimately presenting an opportunity to build something better. So even though it can feel tough in the moment, it usually does lead to something better popping up in its place, right? What else could Virgo be feeling? Judgment. Yeah, so interesting. Judgment can be a card of forgiveness and second chances. So I think you might have a big decision here about whether you forgive this person and give them a second chance. It is also a card about thinking about your values and what's truly important to you. So as I kind of said before, like you might be thinking about, do I even want to give them a chance? Does that feel right for me? Does that feel aligned with what I want? I feel like the tarot is encouraging you to factor that into your decision making because we've talked about this before, Virgo. People can come back and apologize all they want. It doesn't mean that taking them back is the right decision. I always like to say that, you guys, because I think sometimes people are like, oh, they're coming back and we're going to get back together. And it's like, they're coming back, but then there should also be a middle point where the two of you think about, but is that even the best decision? Like, is that what I want? Is that what's healthy? And the Judgment card is encouraging you to reflect on that. What else could Virgo be feeling? The Devil. Yeah, not surprising, you guys. I was wondering if that was going to show up. That is all the toxic, like fucked up shit that's happened in your relationship, you know? It's like, I'm feeling like there's such intensity here, you guys. The Devil is like this really toxic, heavy energy, and it completely characterizes everything that's been happening here. It's like, on the one hand, yeah, you guys might love each other, but does it look like there's been some significant problems? If I'm being honest, yes, Virgo, it really does. And the Devil is kind of like that toxic, unhealthy, emotionally toxic bullshit that like can happen. And it's like all of that is jumbled up in your mind. And I feel like this is a really, really tough situation. My heart goes out to both of you, to be honest, because I feel like there's a lot of intensity here. And sometimes, what did they say? Like, it can be hard to see the forest or the trees. Like, you know, this is not tarot. This is just my opinion based on what I'm seeing. Maybe the best thing you guys could do, because it feels so emotionally intense, you know, take a step back a little bit. Take a couple days, like, you know, breathe, relax, focus on self-care. Like, this might be a situation where before you guys make any sort of decision about what you want to do, calm down. That's what I'm getting. Like, calm down is the message that's coming into mind, because it feels so emotionally intense that this is probably not the best place to make decisions, because it's so hard for all of us to like think clearly when we're emotionally activated. Take that or leave it, but that's just what's like coming to mind when I look at this. Let's see what actions you could be taking. The Two of Swords, you're at a crossroads, you're stuck. Your head is telling you one thing, your heart is telling you another. Tell me more, please. Five of Swords, you feel betrayed by them. There's been probably power struggles, conflict. It's pretty heavy, you guys. Two of Swords, Five of Swords. There's a lot of negative, heavier energy surrounding the connection, and you're trying to figure out, what do I do with that? Tell me more. Wow, look at that, you guys. Eight of Swords. Yeah, honestly, I think this is saying that, first of all, there's a lot of heavy, kind of like toxic, unhealthy energy around your connection, and you're trying to sort through all of that. And that's kind of what I was saying a moment ago, where I'm like, you know, you might need time and you might need the emotion to get a little bit less intense before figuring out what you want to do. Because my sense is that this person could be reaching out to you and it's going to feel very confusing, right? And it's going to be tied up in all of the challenges, all the struggles, all the things that you guys have gone through. You might need to really be kind to yourself, Virgo, and give yourself time and space to figure out what you want. I guess the message I'm kind of interestingly getting here is like, don't feel like you have to make a quick decision, especially in the heat of the moment if you're feeling like emotionally overwhelmed. So this is a lot. I am very curious here, Virgo. Let's see what the potential outcome is within this situation, please. That's interesting. The Nine of Pentacles came out in reverse. I was like, is my deck turned around? No. Literally just that one card. Weird. Okay, that's interesting. Let's talk about that because I think that's actually significant that this card came out in reverse. In the upright position, the Nine of Pentacles is a card of independence, self-sufficiency, okay? Knowing our value, knowing our worth. You know what the Nine of Pentacles is? Somebody who doesn't settle, right? Somebody who does not put themselves in a situation where they do not feel valued, right? It's fascinating to me that this card came out in reverse because it's almost feeling like the tarot is saying to you, don't forget your value. Don't settle. Don't put up with something that's not right for you. I almost feel like the Nine of Pentacles is saying like, don't lose yourself, right? The fact that it came out in reverse, it's like, no, turn that Nine of Pentacles around, Virgo. Make sure you're in this energy. Make sure you're in the energy of feeling confident, knowing your value and knowing your worth, then make a decision. I'm like, okay, let's check and make sure the deck is the right way, right? Okay, tell me more about the potential outcome here. Two of Pentacles. Honestly, to me, that is continued uncertainty. It might even be you weighing the pros and cons of what you want to do here. And then the Five of Wands. Guys, I got to be frank, it's not great energy for the outcome. The outcome is saying, first of all, with that Nine of Pentacles showing up in reverse, like, you know, watch out for going back into a situation that's not valuing you. And then Two of Pentacles and Five of Wands. I mean, these are not really the cards that scream love and romance. Two of Pentacles is wishy-washy, indecisive energy. Like, I don't know what I want. Five of Wands is like continuing to fight, continuing to battle things out, continuing to feel conflicted. The outcome here to me is not suggesting resolution. The outcome here is suggesting to me continued uncertainty, inner conflict, and fighting. So take that as you will, Virgo. That's what the tarot is showing us, right? So it's kind of saying like, if you guys are moving forward, you might continue to feel like you're in limbo. With that Two of Pentacles, you might continue to feel like things are off balance in your relationship. You might continue to have fights. You might continue to feel conflicted about what you want. You might continue to feel confused about what they want. I'm not seeing a clear path forward. The word that's really strongly coming to mind is this is super messy. So if you're moving forward and you're trying to decide what to do, you know, I think the tarot is giving you things to consider, right? It's like, as you're trying to navigate the situation, what I say to people sometimes when I'm doing like private readings is like, what does your body tell you? Like, do you feel peaceful? Do you feel calm? Do you feel secure when you're with this person? Or do you feel anxious? Do you feel on edge? Do you feel tense, right? Those are indicators of our body picking up on something that's going on. And so the outcome is kind of suggesting that the limbo and the tension will continue. And then that's where you get to decide what you want to do with it. As I talked about before, I feel this is one of those things where you can either try to work it out with them, or you could look at it and be like, enough is enough. Maybe the best thing that I can do is walk away from this situation because it's not working. And I don't envy you if you have to make that decision, Virgo. I think those are very, very hard decisions to make, okay? It's not an easy thing, but I do feel this reading, like, kind of the overall message is around figuring out what's healthy for you. I think that's honestly what it is, Virgo. Figuring out what does a healthy relationship look like to you. Do you feel like you can have that with this person or not, right? Even if you guys love each other, sometimes people just don't mesh, you know? And I think that maybe this is a time where you don't have to make a quick decision. We talked about that, but it might be a time where you're really being encouraged to think about, what do you want? What does a healthy relationship look like? And do you want to continue to invest in this person, or do you want to walk away? And really make that decision from a place of self-worth and knowing what's right for you at the end of the day, okay? Whew. So definitely an intense reading today, you guys. If you connected with this energy, I am sending you love. Take care of yourselves. You know, self-care, do something nice for yourself, lean on your friends and family for support, all that stuff. If this reading resonated, do me a solid, give me a big thumbs up, hit that subscribe button and notification bell. And of course, you know, I wish you love and happiness always, Virgo, and we'll talk soon. Bye, guys.